Hi everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Empowerment English. I'm Mia.
And I'm Alex. In our last episode, we learned that 15 minutes can really work for English learning.
Absolutely, but only if you have a smart strategy. It's one thing to know 15 minutes can work, but it's another to use those 15 minutes effectively. And that's exactly what we're sharing today.
Right. Today, we're giving you a simple and powerful system to make your 15-minute English learning a success. We call it the 15-minute English success routine.
That sounds promising. Can you walk us through this routine? What is it all about?
This success routine is made up of 3 simple steps designed to help you get the most out of your 15 minutes and see real results. We call these steps target, engage, and integrate.
Okay, so we have 3 steps for 15-minute success. Let's dive into the first step, target. This is what you do before you even start your 15-minute timer, right?
Exactly. The target step happens before you begin your study. It's all about getting focused. Before you start, you need to know exactly what you want to achieve in that 15-minute session. A clear goal helps you make every minute count. Imagine trying to drive somewhere without knowing the address. It would be total chaos.
Totally, I'd just wander around and probably get lost.
That's the point. Same with English. Just randomly studying for 15 minutes isn't going to be as effective as having a clear idea of a clear goal. So, target means deciding what skill you will focus on during your 15 minutes.
Got it. Instead of saying, study English, I need to be more specific. Learn English is too broad, right?
Exactly, it's way too big. For your target, think small and really clear. Focus on just one skill for each session, like listening, speaking vocabulary, grammar, or pronunciation, and then get even more specific within that skill.
Okay, small and clear focus makes sense. Can you give us some examples of what a good target focus looks like for a 15-minute session?
Definitely, here are some really good examples of specific focuses you can choose. Listening, I want to understand the main idea of a short English podcast intro today. Vocabulary. My target is to learn 3 new phrasal verbs about work. Grammar today. I will quickly review how to use the present perfect tense, speaking. I'm going to practice introducing myself in English for 2 minutes. Pronunciation. I want to practice saying 5 English words with silent letters. Reading. I want to understand a short paragraph from an English news article.
These examples are awesome. They're clear and achievable in 15 minutes. Suddenly, 15 minutes feels like enough time to actually get something done.
Exactly. The target step sets you up for success. By knowing what you want to focus on, you make your 15 minutes more effective and less overwhelming.
Listeners, before you jump into your next 15-minute English session, just take a minute to set your target. What specific skill and specific focus will you choose? Let us know in the comments section.
And don't worry, we'll have even more target ideas for you in the free PDF and our community post. So be sure to subscribe for more tips.
Okay, now that you have your target in mind, let's move on to step 2 in our success routine. How do we go from target to the next step?
Perfect. Once you've set your target, it's time to take action. That's where step 2, engage, comes in. This step is all about making your 15 minutes active. You aren't just sitting back, you are fully involved.
Engage is really the heart of your 15-minute routine. It means active learning, no more just passively listening without doing anything.
Absolutely, Mia. Engage is your 15-minute power session itself. It's when you actually sit down and practice your English during those 15 minutes.
So what's the best way to use that time? How do we make sure we get the most out of our 15 minutes?
Great question. To make these 15 minutes focused and effective, we break them into 3 simple 5-minute blocks.
I like that idea. Let's start with first 5 minutes.
Sure. Block 1 is the learn block. In this block, you take in new information. It is your input time, feeding your brain with new material that matches your target for the day.
So you start by learning something new. That's a solid beginning. What comes next?
The next 5 minutes is block 2, the practice block. For these 5 minutes, you actively work with the new material. You practice the skill you are focusing on. You aren't just listening, you are using the English you just learned.
What kind of activities can we do during the practice block to really get actively involved? Can you give us some examples of what active practice looks like?
Definitely. Here are some awesome activity ideas to get you actively involved. Active listening for details. If your target is listening, play a short audio clip from a podcast or YouTube video. Listen carefully for details and try to understand individual words. Do hands-on practice exercises. If you're focusing on grammar, do some practice exercises using a grammar app or workbook. Actively use new vocabulary. If your goal is vocabulary, make up your own sentences using the new words you learned. Shadowing for speaking practice. If you are practicing speaking or pronunciation, try shadowing. Listen to a short clip and repeat exactly what you hear. Quick focused writing. Write a short summary or answer a question in English to practice writing.
But these activities are very engaging. It's all about actually using English, not just passively reading or listening.
Exactly. And finally, in the last 5 minutes, we have the review block. In this block, you quickly review what you learned and practiced. Our brains can forget things fast, so a short review tells your brain to remember the important parts.
But got it. It's like hitting the save button on your learning. That way the information moves into your long-term memory and you can use it later.
That's right. It's not just about understanding in the moment. It's about remembering and using that knowledge later.
Okay, Alex, we've set our target and worked on Engage, but how do we really make this 15-minute routine a part of our life? How do we make it stick?
Great question, Mia. That's what our last step, Integrate, is all about. Integrate means turning your 15-minute routine to a long-term habit that becomes automatic in your everyday life.
A lasting habit, yes. Many people start a routine and then stop. So what's the simplest way to make it stick?
The simplest and most powerful method is called habit stacking.
How does habit stacking work?
It's actually very simple. You link your new 15-minute routine to something you already do every day without even thinking, like brushing your teeth, taking your lunch break, enjoying your morning coffee, or preparing dinner.
So, for example, I could attach my 15-minute session to my morning coffee ritual. After I pour my coffee, I listen to a short podcast clip or do my English practice.
Exactly. Choose a daily trigger that already happens. Do your English routine right after that trigger. That's the secret of habit stacking.
Okay, I see how that could work. Instead of trying to find extra time, we simply connect our new habit to time we already have.
And that completes the whole 15-minute English success routine. Target, engage, and integrate. We did it.
Okay, Alex, the 15-minute success routine sounds amazing and really doable. But what if I get bored of my routine?
That's a great question. It's totally normal to feel bored sometimes. Life happens, and learning isn't always perfectly smooth. If you feel bored, first shake things up. Change your target focus. If you've been doing vocabulary, switch to listening or grammar or speaking. Also, try new activities in your Engage blocks. Explore different podcast apps, resources. The 15-minute routine is very flexible. You can keep it fresh and interesting for you.
And what if I miss a day or even a few days?
Missing a day is completely normal. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just get right back to it the next day. Don't let one missed day turn into quitting altogether. Remember, even doing 15 minutes most days is amazing progress. Consistency over time is what matters, not perfection every single day.
So even if you miss a day, keep going. Every little bit adds up.
Exactly. Small, consistent steps build your habit and your skills over time.
All right, everyone, before we wrap up, let's do a quick vocabulary boost. These are some keywords and phrases from today's episode that are super useful to remember and use yourself. To make the most of something means to use something in the best way possible to get the maximum benefit from something. Example, the success routine helps you make the most of your 15 minutes. Target means a specific goal or aim. In English learning, it's what you decide to focus on. Example, step 1 is to set your target for each session. Engage means to actively participate or get involved in something. Example, instead of passively listening, engage with English by speaking or writing. Integrate means to make something become a natural part of something else, to combine something into your life. Example, try to integrate new words into your English speaking and writing, not just memorize them. Habit stacking. A means technique to build new habits by linking them to habits you already have. Example, a habit stacking is key to making your routine automatic. A trigger means something that starts or causes something else to happen. In habit stacking, it's the existing habit you link your new habit to. Example, choose your daily trigger to start your 15-minute English. Aiming for means trying to achieve something, having a goal. Example, what are you aiming for in your 15-minute session? But input means something that's put into a system or process, like new information for learning. Example, the learn block is your put block where you take in new English. Beat yourself up means to criticize or blame yourself severely. Example, but don't beat yourself up. If you miss a day, just get back to it. Wow, Alex, today's episode was packed with practical steps. We really broke down how to make 15 minutes of focused English practice work for you.
Absolutely. We introduced the 15-minute English success routine, our simple 3-step system for effective learning. Remember the steps?
Of course. Step 1 is target. Set your daily learning focus. Step 2 is engage. Do your 15-minute session in 3 blocks. Learn, practice, and review. And step 3 is integrate. Make it a habit by stacking it onto an existing part of your day.
Exactly. By following this routine consistently, you'll be surprised by the progress you can make even in just 15 minutes a day.
I hope you're all feeling motivated to try this out for yourself.
The power to learn English effectively is in your hands. We'd love to hear your experiences and questions in the comments below.
Thanks everyone for joining us. And remember, even 15 minutes can be a powerful step towards your English goals. See you in the next episode.